Hello, dear students. Welcome to our English literature class. Dear friends, today in this class, we will be learning our short story number 8, The Singing Lesson, written by Catherine Mansfield. She is the author of this beautiful and interesting short story. Let us learn something about this particular author. Catherine Mansfield, she was born in the year 1888 and died in the year 1923. Is known for her realism and psychological analysis in her short stories. Reality, which is very touching to the realities of life. She is one of the best modern story writers. Her real name was Kathleen Mansfield. She was born on October 14th, 1888 in New Zealand. But she was sent to England to develop her musical career, and there at the age of 18 she began to publish her short stories and other writings, and she came under the influence of the modern writers like P.H. Lawrence and Virginia Woolf. Because of their influence, she could write her stories in a psychological and realistic way. Though she spent her life in writing, she was suffering a lot physically in her life. She had to battle the rest of her life with her ill health, and of course in 1913 she married to John Middleton Murray, the literary critic. But in the year 1923 she was called to her eternal life. And the present story which we are going to learn is about The Singing Lesson, is one of the Catherine Mansfield stories included in The Garden Party and other stories. This story reflects how various moods and feelings and emotions can change our life, and we all behave based on the particular situation or particular moment's emotion that we face in our life. Let us read and understand this short story. With despair, cold, sharp despair, buried deep in her heart like a wicked knife, Miss Meadows, in cap and gown and carrying a little baton, trod the cold corridors that led to the musical hall. She is Mrs. Meadows. Miss Meadows, she is a music teacher, and in a cold morning with cold atmosphere, she is going to teach music class for her students. Imagine that. Girls of all ages, rosy from the air, the bubbling over with that gleeful excitement, happy excitement that comes from running to school on a fine autumn morning, hurried, skipped, fluttered by. From the hollow classrooms came a quick drumming of voices. A bell rang, a voice like a bird cried, "Morale!" And then there came from the staircase a tremendous knocking. Someone had dropped her dumbbells instruments. So imagine a music bell is gone and girls of all ages are rushing to the music class, and there goes Miss Meadows to teach these students the singing. That is the thing. Imagine, visualize that situation. The science mistress stopped Miss Meadows. "Good morning," she cried in her sweet, affected drawl. Drawl means soft voice. "Isn't it cold? It might be winter." Miss Meadows, hugging the knife, stared in hatred at the science mistress. Everything about her was sweet, pale like honey. You would not have been surprised to see a bee caught in the tangles of that yellow hair. Webs. Tangles means webs. So, Miss Meadows was bit jealous about this science mistress. "It is rather sharp," said Miss Meadows grimly. Grimly means seriously. The other smiled her sugary smile. Other science mistress, she was so sweet. She smiled her sugary smile. "You look frozen," said she. Science mistress told. "You look very frozen." What is the meaning of frozen here? Yes, very feel inactive, very deadly like. Yes. Said she. Her blue eyes opened wide. There came a mocking light in them. Had she noticed anything? "Oh, not quite as bad as that," said Miss Meadows, and she gave the science mistress, in exchange for her smile, a quick grimace and passed on. Ugly expression of look, grimace. Oh, like disliking way of look, that is called grimace, and passed on. Forms lines 4, 5, and 6 were assembled in the music hall. So the music hall, students of 4, 5, and 6, they were assembled, lined up in the hall. The noise was deafening, death-like silence. On the platform by the piano stood Mary Blaisley, Miss Meadows' favorite, who played accompaniments. So, the student Mary Beasley, she was the one who used to play the piano, or the accompaniments means other instruments, her favorite student. She was turning the music stool. When she saw Miss Meadows, she gave a loud warning. "Shh, girl, silence." Mary Beasley asked other students to keep quiet. And Miss Meadows, her hands thrust in her sleeves, put inside the sleeves, the baton under her arms, the stick, baton means the stick, under the arms, strode down the center aisle. Walked down center aisle. Aisle means the middle path, the middle way that you find between two rows and so on. Yes. Mounted the steps. Mounted means climbed the steps. Turned sharply. Seized the brass music stand. Placed it in front of her, and gave 2 sharp taps with her baton for silence. So with that one, she gave 2 beating and asked the students to be quiet. "Silence, please," immediately. And looking at nobody, her glance swept over that sea of colored flannel blouses, soft fabric. Flannel blouses means the soft fabric. Yes, with bobbing pink, moving pink faces and hands, quivering butterfly hair bows, quivering. That is quivering. Quivering means shaking or trembling. Quivering butterfly hair bows and the music books outspread. So she noticed, Miss Meadows noticed the costume of our students, her students, and she also noticed the students with book holding in their hands. She knew perfectly well what they were thinking. Medi is in a wax, upset. Wax. Medi is in a wax means Medi is in an upset. The teacher is in an upset condition. Well, let them think it. Her eyelids quivered, trembled, shiver. Yes, she tossed her head, defying them. What could the thoughts of those centuries matter to someone who stood there bleeding to death, pierced to the heart by such a letter? So, though our Miss Meadows came to take the music class for our students, for her students, she was with a distressed disposition, distracted mind. She came to take the class, and she was, of course, thinking about the letter which she had received from her boyfriend or fiancé, let us say. Let us see what upset Miss Meadows. I feel more and more strongly that our marriage would be a mistake. Not that I do not love you. I love you so much as it is possible for me to love any woman. But truth to tell, I have come to the conclusion that I am not a marrying man, and the idea of settling down fills me with nothing but after but hyphen is there, something is there, and the word disgust, dislikeness was stretched out lightly and regret written over the top. So that is the cause. This little letter from Basil, her boyfriend's name is Basil, and her boyfriend's letter upsetted our music teacher, Miss Meadows. Yes. Basil. Miss Meadows stalked over to the piano. Stalked over means slowly walked to the piano. And Mary Bisley, who was waiting for this moment, bent forward. Her curls fell over her cheeks while she breathed. Curls means the hair fell over her cheeks while she breathed. Good morning, Miss Meadows, and she motioned towards rather than handed to her mistress a beautiful yellow chrysanthemum. So that was the habit of our Mary Bisley. She used to give chrysanthemum. What is chrysanthemum? Yellow, beautiful flowers of chrysanthemum. Yes, she offered. This little ritual of the flower had been gone through for ages and ages, quite a term and a half. Now, for so many days, almost for a semester like, or 1.5 semesters like, this custom was going on. What is the custom? Offering flower to the teacher. Yes, this used to go. It was happening. It was such a part of the lesson as opening the piano. It was just like a part of just before beginning the piano lesson. But this morning, instead of taking it up, instead of tucking it under, tucking means placing it into her belt while she leant over, Mary answered, "Thank you, Mary. How very nice." Turn to page 32. What was Mary's horror was when Miss Meadows totally ignored the chrysanthemum, made no reply to her greeting, but said in a voice of ice, page 14, please, and mark the accents well. The stress. So every day morning, you have to understand, every day morning when this chrysanthemum flower was offered to the teacher, she used to tug it out, place it near her belt. But this morning, instead of wishing or saying thanks, directly she told page number 14, and please note the accents of the class. This is what she did. It was, of course, a quite strange behavior from the side of Miss Meadows, and absolutely it pained Mary Beasley, the accompanist. Staggering moment, shocking, staggering moments, very shocking moment. Mary blushed until the tears stood in her eyes. Blushed, face become very swollen, or eyes becomes very swollen with tears. But Miss Meadows was gone back to the music stand. Her voice rang through the music hall. Again she announced the page. Page 14. We will begin with page 14, a lament. Lament means what is a lament? A song of sorrow, lamentation. A song which expresses the deep feelings of sorrow, that is called lament. So she said, let us begin a song or a song of lament, that is found on page number 14. Now girls, you ought to know it by this time. You know, by this time you must know. We shall take it all together, not in parts, all together. Not in group, but we will sing together. And without expression, sing it, though quite simply beating time with the left hand. So, catching the rhythm. Miss Meadows asked her students to sing the song of lament, song of sorrow. She raised the baton. Baton is the stick which the music directors use. Yes, sometimes you may have seen, isn't it? Yes, that is called the baton. She raised the baton. She tapped the music stand twice. Down came Mary on the opening chord. Down came all those left hands beating the air, and in chimed those young mournful voices. Chimed means sang, sang. Fast, oh too fast, fade the roses of pleasure. Soon autumn yields unto winter drear. Fleetly, oh fleetly, music's gay measure passes away from the listening ear. So, the content of this song, content of these lines, or the meaning and summary of these lines, let us try to understand. Fast, very fast, fade, disappear the pleasure of roses. Very soon, the rose flower loses its pretty appearance. Fast, oh too fast, fade the roses of pleasure. Soon autumn yields unto winter dear. Autumn season slowly, immediately passes to winter drear, makes sad winter. Fleetly, quickly, or fleetly, music's gay measure. Musical notes are measured very quickly, one music note leaving the next one, like that. Yes, passes away from the listening ear. Same way, these musical notes are also passed from ears, from listening immediately after listening. After this one, again it is there. I do not know, as it is a little bit windy outside here, you will have a proper audio volume or not, but please try to listen this video with your earphones. Good heavens, what could be more tragic than that? The lament. In a cold morning, cold season, winter season, you are singing a lament song. That is too much. Good heavens, what could be more tragic than that lament? Every note was a sigh. Sigh means deep, painful ahad, deep breath. A sob, a groan of woeful mournfulness. Totally, every word, every note, everything was filled with sorrow and unhappiness. Miss Meadows lifted her arms in the wide gown and began conducting with both hands. Again, she forced, I feel more and more strongly that our marriage would be a mistake. She bet. While teaching the music lesson to the students, Miss Meadows, the teacher, was speaking or thinking about the letter which her boyfriend, Mr. Basil, had sent to her. I feel more and more strongly that our marriage would be a mistake. She bet again. The voices cried, Fleetly, oh Fleetly. What could have possessed him to write such a letter? Again, Miss Meadows is thinking, what must have made Mr. Basil to write such a letter? What could have led up to it? It came out of nothing. It came out of nothing. There is no reason. Miss Meadows can't find exactly the cause or the reason of her sorrow, her sadness. His last letter had been all about a thumbed oak bookcase, smoked, that is, bookcase he had bought for our books, and a natty little hall stand he had seen, a very neat affair with a carved owl on a bucket, holding three hat brushes in its claws. How she had smiled at that! So like a man to think one needed three hat brushes. From the listening ears sang the voices. The students were singing the lemon song, and at the same time, Mary was reflecting about the previous letter which she had received from her boyfriend, Mr. Basil, and also the things that he had seen and he had the plan to buy. She was thinking about that one, and on the other side, students were singing the lemon song. Once again, said Miss Meadows, but this time in parts. But after singing for the first round, again she asked her students to sing for a second time. Yes, for a second time. Once again, said Miss Meadows, but this time in parts. Still without expression. You have to sing without any expression. Fast, oh too fast. With the gloom of the controllers added. Lowest females. Controllers means the lowest female sound in a music or in an orchestra. One could scarcely help shuddering. That is shaking, shivering. The lowest. Fade the roses of pleasure, that is, disappear the passions, the happiness and so on, they all disappear very fast. Last time he had come to see her, Basil had worn a rose in his buttonhole. How handsome he had looked in that bright blue suit with that dark red rose, and he knew it too. He couldn't help knowing it. First, he stroked his hair, gently press or massage her hair like this one. Yes, like this one. Sometimes we do. That is, first he stroked his hair, then his mustache. Again here, clearing the mustache. His teeth gleamed when he smiled. Teeth, that is smiled. Yes, shined. Yes. So again, our Miss Meadows, at the time of her teaching, was reflecting about the appearance, the handsome appearance of her boyfriend, Mr. Basil, with his that is blue suit. So she was thinking about that one. Now, yes, dear students, just little bit more. The headmistress's wife keeps on asking me to dinner. Again, she is asking. The headmaster's wife keeps on asking me to dinner. It's a perfect nuisance, disturbance. I never get an evening to myself in that place. But can't you refuse? Oh well, it doesn't do for a man in my position to be unpopular. For a person like me, it is not a good thing to reject or deny the request of someone else. So that was the thing. So even it says about this conversation. Music's game measure, the music which we listen in this moment is faded, disappeared in the next moment. That is the reason. Music gave measure, wailed the voices, cried. The willow trees outside the high, narrow windows waved in the wind. Willow trees, it's a type of tall tree which almost looks like our pine trees. They had lost half their leaves. These pine trees or the willow trees, they had almost lost half of their leaves because of the season. So season is winter season. The tiny ones that clung wriggled like fishes caught on a line. Wriggled, yes, shiver. I am not a marrying man. Again she is thinking, I am not a marrying man. The voice was silent, the piano waited. Yes, dear students, we are about to wind up this class today, and one more period I require to complete this one. Now what you are supposed to do is that please read and understand the things lesson by yourself and the notes that are given in your workbook. Let us understand what we have learned. Let us refresh. We have to understand the main characters. This story is written by, yes, Catherine Mansfield, and of course the characters, the main character or the protagonist of this short story singing lesson is Miss Meadows, and she is going for a music class with an upset mind. And the cause of her upset is that her boyfriend had written to her telling that he doesn't want to get married or live a married man's life. So that is the content, and the whole thing you can understand the various ups and downs, the feelings, the fluctuation of the emotions of Miss Meadows can be understood from this letter that is given on page number 92, paragraph number 3, where it begins like, I feel more and more strongly that our marriage would be a mistake. From there, the last regret written over the top. So that paragraph, and with this one, the various fluctuations were going on in her mind, and she asked her students to sing a lament song. And while she was teaching the songs or asking the students to sing the songs, she asked her, she was reflecting about the letter which she had received from her boyfriend, and also the things which she saw with Mr. Basil and all other things. So dear students, we wind up the class here, and we will resume our class tomorrow in our next class. So until we meet again for the next class, take care, have a nice day. Behind the you can just see your school, the inside campus view of our school. I thought of just taking this class just for a change. Okay, let us wind up the class, and wish you all the best. See you tomorrow. Nice to meet you, or hope all of you are keeping fine. Be good boys and good girls. Thank you.